You know, people often say that I am very good at English speaking and I am probably the best non-native English speaker they have ever known.
Who say that?
Well, some people. And people often ask me on tips on how to speak better in the IELTS. I mean, they obviously have been in the game for a very long time, but there's simply no improvement. They cannot utter a full English sentence without a hitch. I mean, can I just say something here? I really hate it when people ask me for tips on how to speak better. I mean, I never look at them on the internet because they are all bullshit. Tips are bullshit. I did not get to where I am today because I was some, bullshit tips flying around. I get to where I am today because of hours of hard work watching TV and US TV shows like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and Modern Family. I try to imitate, copy, mimic, emulate them, the way they talk, so that I can improve my pronunciation, my grammar, my vocabulary, and everything else. So next time you see me, please don't ask me for tips. But on a serious note, today's video is about tips on how to improve your IELTS speaking. Hey guys, it's Andy right here. I know there are so many tips on the internet about how you can improve your IELTS speaking, but in my opinion, I think the ultimate tip here is to think in English more often. I know for many people who have to speak in English, they have to translate everything from their mother tongue to English in their head. So that is a very time-consuming process, and if you do not translate fast enough, you will stutter. But when you think in English, you will eliminate all of that. You might not need good vocabulary or grammar right now, but you need to train your mind to think in English more often because that is the key to fluency. But the question remains, how can you speak in English when you are living right now in Vietnam, where everyone else is speaking Vietnamese? Well, I suggest you should create your own English speaking environment by, first of all, calling everything around you by the English name. This is a beginner step, which is very easy. Just try to come up with English name for stuff around you. Like, do you know what this is called? Many people mistake it for a tree, but it's not a tree. It's a table plant. How about this? I used to think this is a water bottle, but a water bottle is a long container with a narrow neck. But this is actually called a pitcher. So you see, there are so many things you are familiar with in your mother tongue, but when it comes to English, you're not that familiar. So just try to, describe things around you in English, and gradually you will gain so many interesting vocabularies. And I know it's difficult, but in a way, at least for me, it's a very fun thing to do because I got the chance to see things from a news perspective. Next, making simple sentences to express your thoughts. So when you first begin to think in English, it might be extremely difficult because you are not just used to using English to express yourself, right? So I suggest, along with calling everything around you by their English name, you should try to make simple sentences to express yourself, to say how you feel or what you are going to do during the day or what you are thinking right now. A simple sentence structure for your speech should be subject plus verb plus object. So for your convenience, let's just begin our sentences with the subject I. Let me demonstrate. Right now, I am making a video. I am feeling great because I have more than 8 hours of sleep last night, so I am feeling very refreshing. So just like that, you should do like thinking in English like that 24/7 all the time. Everywhere you go, think in English. For example, when I wake up, I often think like, this is a great day. I am feeling good. And I should go wash my face and brush my teeth. Simple as that. Another way for me to practice thinking in English and speaking more is that I use my personal assistant on my phone, which is Siri, to remind me of different things to do because I'm super forgetful. Hey Siri, remind me this Sunday that I have a wedding to attend.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Is it going to be hot this Sunday?
It'll be up around 32 degrees. I think that's pretty hot.
Text my sister that I'm not going to be able to be home for dinner.
Ready to send it?
Send. Okay, final note. After all, you should push yourself to speak English even though it is really difficult to break out the habit of thinking and speaking in your mother tongue. Okay, so by now I guess you already know that in order to get better in IELTS speaking, thinking in English is inevitable and very essential. But many of you still do not, push yourself hard enough to speak English more and to think in English more. Let me ask you a question. Many of you have learned English for a very long time, but you still cannot speak English in a fluent way. Then, do you dare to make a difference here? Are you seriously happy with the level of English you have right now, or do you want to make a change? If you are unsatisfied and if you are willing to change, then start thinking in English immediately. Use everything you have. Don't care about grammar or vocabulary right now, maybe because the teachers will correct the mistakes for you. But if you do not think more and speak more in English, nobody is going to know which errors you have and how to correct them. And you will never know about them, because all it takes begin with just one simple step, that is thinking in English. Okay guys, that is the end of my second episode of 5 minutes about IELTS with the focus on how to think in English. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Ciao.